My name is Catherine Morgan. I'm 39 years old, and I'm about to tell you the story of how my family made me give up my business for my sister and what happened when I finally found the proof. I was 28 years old when I started my own business. I had a dream. I wanted to create something of my own. I wanted to build something from nothing. I wanted to be my own boss. I had been working for other people for 8 years. I had been doing everything I was told. I had been following everyone else's rules. I had been building everyone else's dreams. I was tired. I was exhausted. I was done. I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to build something from nothing. My friends said, Catherine, you're crazy. It's too risky. It's too hard. You'll never make it. My parents said, Catherine, you're wasting your time. You should get a real job. You should be practical. You should be sensible. My sister said, Catherine, you're going to fail. You're going to lose everything. You're going to end up with nothing. But I didn't listen. I believed in myself. I believed in my dream. I believed in my ability. I started my business. I worked 80 hours a week. I worked every day. I worked every night. I worked every weekend. I sacrificed everything. I had no life. I had no friends. I had no relationships. I had nothing but my business. But I didn't care. I was building something. I was creating something. I was achieving something. The first year was the hardest. I had no money. I had no clients. I had no employees. I had nothing. I worked from my apartment. I used my own computer. I used my own phone. I used my own everything. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I didn't rest. I just kept going. I was exhausted. I was stressed. I was struggling. But I didn't give up. I kept going. I kept working. I kept believing. Slowly, things started to change. I got my first client, then my second, then my third. I hired my first employee, then my second, then my third. My business started to grow. It started to be successful. It started to be profitable. I was so proud of myself. I had done it. I had built something from nothing. I had achieved my dream. By the time I was 32, my business was thriving. I had 25 employees. I had 120 clients. I had everything I had ever wanted. I was making money. I was making a difference. I was making a name for myself. My parents were proud of me. They said, Catherine, we're so proud of you. You've done so well. You've achieved so much. My sister was jealous. She said, Catherine, you got lucky. You just got lucky. You didn't work for it. I didn't argue. I didn't fight. I just kept working. I bought a house. I bought a car. I bought everything I had ever wanted. When I was 33, my parents came to me. They sat me down. They looked serious. My mother said, Catherine, we need to talk to you about something important. My father said, Catherine, your sister needs help. She's been struggling. She can't find a job. She needs a career. She needs something to do with her life. I said, what do you want me to do? My mother said, we want you to give her your business. We want you to let her take over. We want you to help her. I was shocked. I said, Mom, I can't give her my business. I built it from nothing. It's everything I have. It's my future. My mother said, Catherine, you're being selfish. You're always so selfish. Your sister needs this. She needs a chance to succeed. You have to help her. My father said, Catherine, this is what family does. This is what good people do. You're a good person. You'll do the right thing. I was surrounded. I was pressured. I was guilt. I was manipulated. I gave up my business. I gave up my dream. I gave everything to my sister. My sister, Michelle, took over my business. She was 31 years old. She had never run a business. She had never managed anyone. She had no idea what she was doing. She ran it into the ground. She destroyed everything I built. She lost clients. She lost employees. She lost money. She lost everything. Within a year, the business was bankrupt. It was gone. Everything I had worked for was gone. I was devastated. I was hurt. I was angry. I said, "Mom, Michelle destroyed my business. She lost everything. She didn't even try." My mother said, "Catherine, you can't blame her. She just wasn't ready. She needed more time. She needed more support." I didn't start another business. I couldn't. I had no money. I had no energy. I had no hope. I worked for other people. I worked minimum wage jobs. I struggled. I survived. I didn't complain. I didn't ask for help. I just kept going. My parents didn't help me. They didn't care. They only cared about Michelle. They only cared about themselves. I was 38 years old when I got an email from a former client. Her name was Mrs. Thompson. She had been one of my first clients. She was 70 years old. She was retired. She said, "Catherine, I have something for you. Something I've been keeping for 5 years. It's an email. An email from your mother." I said, "What email?" She said, "Your mother came to me 5 years ago. She asked me to stop doing business with you. She told me you were unreliable. She told me you were unprofessional. She told me you were going to fail." I was shocked. I was hurt. I was angry. She sent me the email. It was from my mother. The email was in my mother's handwriting. "Dear Mrs. Thompson, I am writing to you about my daughter, Catherine. I understand you are one of her clients. I want to let you know that she is not reliable. She is not professional. She is going to fail. My other daughter, Michelle, is much more capable. She is going to take over Catherine's business. I would encourage you to consider doing business with Michelle instead. Catherine will understand. She always does. She's a good girl. She'll figure it out. Sincerely, Mrs. Morgan." I read the email twice. I started to cry. I couldn't stop. I realized everything. My mother had sabotaged me. She had turned my clients against me. She had destroyed my reputation. She had taken everything from me. I called Mrs. Thompson. I said, "Thank you. Thank you for telling me the truth. Thank you for keeping the email." She said, "Catherine, I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. I'm sorry for everything." I went to my mother's house. I had the email in my hand. I had the proof. I had everything. My mother was in the kitchen. She was cooking dinner. She didn't look up when I walked in. She said, "Catherine, what are you doing here? You didn't call." I said, "Mom, we need to talk." I placed the email on the counter. I said, "Mom, do you remember this? Do you remember writing this to Mrs. Thompson?" She looked at it. Her face turned pale. She said, "Where did you get that?" I said, "Mrs. Thompson kept it. She kept it for 5 years. She wanted me to know the truth." My mother said, "Catherine, that was a long time ago. I was trying to help. I was trying to do what was best for everyone." I said, "Mom, you sabotaged me. You turned my clients against me. You destroyed my reputation. You took everything from me." My mother started to cry. She said, "Catherine, I'm sorry. I know I made a mistake. I know I was wrong. I should have been a better mother." I said, "Mom, you're not sorry. You're sorry you got caught. You're sorry I found out. You're sorry I have proof. You're not sorry you hurt me. You're not sorry you took everything from me." I never spoke to my mother again. I never spoke to my father again. I never spoke to Michelle again. I moved on. I built a new life. I found happiness. I found peace. I started a new business. It was small. It was simple. But it was mine. I rebuilt everything. I rebuilt my life. I rebuilt my future. If you've ever been forced to give up your dream for someone who didn't deserve it, I want you to hear something. You didn't deserve what happened to you. You didn't deserve to be used. You didn't deserve to be manipulated. You didn't deserve to be taken advantage of. You deserve to have your own dreams. You deserve to have your own future. You deserve to have your own life. My name is Catherine Morgan. I'm 39 years old. I gave up my business for my sister. And I'm still standing. If this story made you feel something, drop a comment below. Tell me the word that describes what you feel. Share this video with someone who needs to hear they're not alone. Subscribe for more stories like this. Thank you for listening to mine.